Okay, so going back to our whiteboard here. So now we're going to figure out how do we connect the servo motor. All right. Okay. Let's zoom out here a little bit. Okay. I'm going to leave these connections on because we're going to try to leave the lights on there while we connect the servo motor. So I'm going to draw here our servo motor. Maybe here. Okay. All right. Something like that. It's got a propeller here. And it is blue color, right? So just to help us stay color coded. Okay. So blue servo motor. And we have three colors. We have brown. I'm going to just use black here. The brown or the black needs to go to G and D. Then there's also a red. Okay. The red needs to connect to 5V. That was from the beginning. We used 5V. That's 5 volts. So these two signals, the 5 volts and the ground, that's the power for the servo motor. Okay, that just turns it on. Or not necessarily turns it on, but gives it power so that it can turn on. And then you have an orange signal, orange cable. That's called a signal wire. That's actually going to control the angle of where this thing turns. That's going to be connected to one of the pins. And we'll do pin number 9. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and make those connections. All right, so here's my servo motor. We're going to need to use some different wires. We're going to need to use the pin-to-pin wires for this. All right. So I have a black one here. So I'm going to use black for the brown. And again, yours might be different colors. It doesn't really matter on the color of your wires. Just got to keep track of where they're going, okay? And let me change my view here. Okay. So this needs to go to G and D, right? Brown goes to G and D. Now, I have a problem here. There are no more G and D header holes on my Uno because they're all used up by the lights. There's actually a trick we can do, okay? But I'll do that in a second. So I'm just gonna leave this here for now. Let's do the other wires first. All right, so I have the red wire. I have a red wire. I'm gonna connect it with the red. This one goes to 5V, right? So let's take this and stick it into 5V. There we go. Okay. And then what else? This orange wire. I have a blue wire here. I'm going to connect it to the orange. And that needs to go to number 9. Looking at my chart there. Number 9. Okay, great. So I'm almost connected. I just need to also connect this one. I know it's getting a little bit crazy here. Let me clean it up a little bit. All right, so this black wire right here is connected to the brown, which needs to go to G and D. But I'm out of G and Ds here. All right, so there's a little trick here. Okay, so if you look closely at the Uno, there's this other header here with 6 spikes where my finger is. Okay, the one looking, if your Uno's oriented like this, the one right, I'm going to use this little pointer right here. So this kind of the top left corner, that is also G and D. Okay, I'm going to try to make it more clear here. So this pin right here, where my popsicle stick is touching, that's also G and D. All right, so that's just a little secret here. So I can actually connect to that. Now I'm going to take this off because that's not going to allow me to connect. I'm going to get another one of these socket to pin ones and connect it to the brown. And then this side will allow me to connect to that secret GND pin. So make sure you can see it. It's going to be this pin right here. Okay? Like that. That's also GND. All right, make sure you can see there. So that's a little trick. Now, usually you wouldn't have to do this because we wouldn't always need to have all the lights and the motors at the same time. But because we want the lights and the motor together, we need to do this little hack, okay? Which is part of engineering. Okay, looks like my lights fell out here. Let me fix that. Okay, and I have my motor. Cool. Let's get set up here. Now let's do some coding. All right, so going back to my computer screen here. All right, so I have my light sequence. Let's go ahead and add a motor block. So I'm going to click on here, get servo, and just put it up here. Now, my connection to the servo was the control pin was actually number 9, if you guys remember. So if you just don't forget, remember here, right? The orange was to number 9, which is what controls the angle for the servo. And if you remember, it only goes half a circle, so it goes 0 to 180. So I'm going to say, let's go to angle 0 first and see what happens, okay? I'm going to upload. And it does nothing. It does nothing. So that's interesting. Sometimes it does this. Maybe, I just have a thought, maybe it's already at angle 0 and I need to change it. So maybe I need to go to 180 instead because it's already at 0. Let's see what happens here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and upload. Going to 180. And it worked. See, it spun. So sometimes things like that can happen. You're like, oh, it's not working, but you know, it was already at the 0 angle. And then we can try 90, and we should see it move to 90. And that also works. All right, cool. So I have a light, traffic light, and this. So the next thing I want to do, I want to take this popsicle stick. I want to stick it onto here like this because I want to make a gate. So imagine a traffic light with a like a train crossing. It has a gate that can go like that. So the way I'm going to do that is one of these double stick foams are really helpful. Okay, you might have them in your kit there. All right, so we'll take this and then stick one side onto there. And then peel off, and then stick my thing under there. Okay, cool. And then I can stick this maybe onto my box here. Maybe it should be like that, right? Okay, and I'll kind of hold it up like this so you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this on. Give me a second here. And I changed my view here so you can kind of better see what's going on here. So I'm going to just take a sticky and put it here. Okay, and then stick it on like that. Okay. So that's cool. Now I got to figure out what angles will make it close. So this is closed right now, and what will make it open. All right, so right now it's at 90. Let me get to my coding screen to see if I can get this to work. Okay, I got my coding screen here. So right now 90 is this. So to open it, it would be like this, which is 90 degrees away. I'm actually not sure. Is it 0 or 180? I'm not sure which way it's going to go. So I'm just going to experiment. I'm going to do 0. See what happens. Oh, perfect. I totally lucked out. Okay, so 0 is open. And 90 is going to be closed. Cool. Now, you're going to have to do some experimentation here. Like, I just kind of got lucky that it kind of worked out. So if your angles are messed up, there's two things that you could do, right? So one is you could just take it and adjust what angles mean what by taking this off. Like the popsicle stick, just take it off, right? And then just put it wherever you want. So you could say like, you know, it's kind of weird that 90 is like this. I feel like this should be 0, you know? So what I can do now, I'm just gonna take it off, and then now I'll actually tell it to go to 0. Okay. Okay, now it's at 0. And then put it on where I think 0 should be. So now this is 0, okay? This is called calibration. So now I know that's 0, then I feel like 90 would then go up. Let's try. Let's see what happens if I do 90 now. Oh, so it went down, so that's not gonna work. All right, so again, it's kind of like experimentation. So the way that I have my gate on in this way and the angles is not gonna work. So I say, okay, I didn't like that, so let's make this 90 again. So this is 90 again. So that's 90, and then let's say I feel like if I go back to 0, it's gonna go back. Okay, so I guess that's the best way, the way that, you know, kind of had it originally. Now yours may be flipped, so you see how I put my motor on this side. If you put your motor on the other side of the box, maybe it's all going to be flipped, okay? So the key thing is you need to, and this is part of robotics, because the code needs to actually fit with the real world, which is over here. And so your numbers might kind of be a little bit different than what you might think. So you just have to experiment and get it to work. Okay, that's part of the fun. So for me, now I know that 0 is that. 0 is open, 90 is closed for me. Let's go ahead and stick my traffic light on. I feel like my light should go maybe right here. Would be cool. So I'm just going to do a sticky foam. Another sticky foam here. Okay, and put it down here like that, and then peel this. Okay, and then just stick it on like right there. Cool. Let's make sure my LEDs are good. This one fell off again. All right. Pretty cool. All right, so now let's program it so that when it's red, it should be closed, right? Okay, let me move this. It's getting a little complicated now. This will be the last thing we do here. So here's my original sequence that you see already on the, that's, you know, it's doing this sequence. So the red is the 5. So when the red light is on, I want to close the gate. Okay, so I'm gonna move this servo here and put it here, and then I'm gonna also do the right click inline input to make it, you know, more crunched so it doesn't take as much room. Oh, also let me show you this real quick. There's this plus and minus here. You can You can zoom out, which helps too. Okay. Okay. So to close is 90. Okay. So the red light's going to turn on. It's going to close the gate, and they're both going to be closed for 5 seconds. And then it's going to turn the red light off here, and then it's going to turn the green light on, which is 3. So then I'm going to get my motor. Well, actually, let me show you this other trick. You can actually right-click on this one and say duplicate. That's a little trick. And the green light is here. And when the green light is on, it should be open, which is 0 for me for the gate. Okay, and then once it finishes, it'll go all the way down and then reset. Okay, let's see if this works. I'm going to upload. Okay, closed gate, red. Green, oh, the gate opened, nice. Then it's going to turn yellow. And close. Hey, not bad at all, right? I'm going to turn off my power here by disconnecting. And the last thing I'm going to do here, just to be a little creative, right? Let's put our little stripes. I feel like the gates always have stripes, right? Okay, give it a little character, right? Okay. There we go. Yellow, close for red. Green, open gate. Back to yellow. Hurry up, it's gonna close. There we go. All right, there we go. So what, I noticed that maybe you want to add some delays, like maybe you want the gate to close a little bit later, or a little bit earlier, or before the light, or after the light. So you can just tweak the code to do that. So that's my overview of the Bot Basics kit. Okay, so again, no soldering, no breadboarding, super easy coding where you don't have to install any software. You get to learn how the LEDs get controlled by the Uno. You also get to learn how the motor is controlled by the Uno, and then how the code brings it all together with the sequencing and things. This is great for anyone who's trying to get just their feet wet in Arduino, and then it's good for elementary, middle, even high school and beyond. Now, this is just the introduction, right? So as things get more advanced, I want to show you something. If you look at the code, this is called block code, where you don't have to worry about the spelling and all the typing. That's called syntax, all the little annoying things in typing code. But so because you don't want to worry about that when you get started. But if you want to go to the next level, if you go to click on editor, you see this is the actual C code. This is the C language that the Arduino is actually using. So you can actually do it with doing this directly as well. If you wanted to go this route instead of doing the blocks, you would just go click here, text code, and then you could do this using text code. Okay? And if you're not sure what the commands look like, you can always use the block code and then do it that way, and then say, oh, I'm curious what the text code of this looks like. You just click here, and then here it is. Here's the answer. So you can also use the block mode in order to learn how the text works. All right, that's all I have for you. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this project. These kind of things, it means a lot to us, in that we're able to empower kids and teachers to explore Arduino. As you see, it's not that hard. With a little bit of wiring, a little bit of coding, you can do something like this. And I think this is pretty cool, especially in the little amount of time that we use to make it. All right, that's all I got. We'll talk to you guys later. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to put it in the comments of the video. All right.